Shalom, this is Joel Blackford with Beth Hesed Sabbath Fellowship. Thank you for joining us. We're virtual only, based out of St. Paul, Minnesota. We do the thought behind the thought. The phone number does work if you'd like to contact us. We do the philosophy of eschatology, what you need to know, your reality, your existence, what's going on in the news, how does it affect you. We're solving a little piece of revelation. We're kind of just the end of the sixth seal, say, and moving into the seventh seal. And that's where I think we are with the peace deals that are starting right now. So Trump wants his peace deals, and they're deals, capitalized. So he wants his Nobel Peace Prize. So let's look at Revelation. Let's study it through and see if this makes sense. And we'll see if we get a Trump Gaza or not. But it's not, well, it's kind of part of prophecy. We try not to twist the Bible. We try to give you the prophecy accurately. We try to give you what isn't fake news. So Trump says he will not allow Israel to annex occupied West Bank. That does fit into the Bible because all nations will reject Israel at the end. Now, Trump is actually supporting Israel, but at this moment, he's negotiating with all of the Muslim nations, whether they're Sunni or Shiite. He's saying they cannot annex the occupied West Bank. And he just addressed the United Nations. That was funny. That was a horrible slapdown, but it was wonderful to watch it. I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. Nope, I will not allow it. It's not going to happen. Israel annexation attempts with Netanyahu, Trump was non-committal. Well, yeah, whether he plans to block it, we'll see. Yeah, but I'm not going to allow it. So it's time to stop. This is Al Jazeera. So it's interesting from the 26th of September of 2025. More Al Jazeera, but once again, the articles are won't allow Israel to annex the West Bank. Time to stop. Trump dumps Netanyahu's West Bank plan. Okay, U.S. administration sometimes does seemingly rebuke Israel, and they indicate their opposition to something Israel is doing, but they don't end up allowing, or they end up allowing Israel to do whatever they want to do. We'll see. Okay, the reality is that Israel already exerts de facto control over the West Bank. So this is Mohammed El Masri, and he's a professor at Doha. So just watch it. That's Al Jazeera again. Trump's sleight of hand, Algeminer, is saying, yeah, Trump's no West Bank annexation veto isn't what it sounds like, the expert says. So Debbie Weiss, Israelis were divided after President Donald Trump declared on Thursday he would not allow annexation of the West Bank. But an Israeli scholar in the middle paragraph, Eugene Kontoverich, so told Algeminer that Trump's wording was being misunderstood, that his remarks may still leave space for Israel to extend partial sovereignty in the West Bank, part of the ancestral Jewish homeland. It is that region. I mean, that's biblical, people. Okay, so Netanyahu's coalition on promises of sovereignty. So basically, Israel is a sovereign state. No international actor, even a great beloved friend like Trump, can dictate to us how to treat our land. Likud MK talked about that. So Likud wants it done. They want the West Bank. Trump is saying, I want my peace deal. I want my award right now. I want Trump Gaza. I want the peace deal now. We have a real chance for greatness in the Middle East. All are on board for something special. First time ever. We will get it done. Okay, so that's Donald Trump just a few hours ago. Clandestine up top is saying Trump is indicating that we may be getting close to a resolution in the Middle East. To be fair, we have been close before, but Trump and others in his administration seem confident a deal will get done. This would not only be a huge win for humanity, but also grant Trump near unlimited political ammunition and trust with the public. Trump's public approval will be surging right after he secures this massive peace deal. Strategically speaking, Trump is in an extremely dominant position against the deep state. Trump is winning the battle of optics. Left-wing MSM narratives are not sticking like they used to. And when he secures a peace deal in the Middle East, the people will be more willing to trust him on other things like arresting traitorous high-profile officials. Timing could be very important. The stars are aligning. Trump Gaza, Trump his idolatry, things like that. Yeah, he wants his peace deals. He wants deals. Okay, so peace and profit. Peace is kind of the small word. Profit is the big word there. Blur in the Middle East. This is from Deborah Kamen and Bradley Hope. Steve Witkoff, President Trump's envoy to the Middle East, conducted delicate ceasefire negotiations between Israel and Hamas this year. His son Alex was on another mission. He was quietly soliciting billions of dollars from some of the same governments whose representatives were involved in peace talks with his father. So Alex Witkoff was pitching the deals, and Steve Witkoff was doing the deals. I mean, this is just, it's all about money. And then they want Blair, Tony Blair of all people, the former UK PM, to jump in and do Gaza Riviera scheme. And Jared Kushner is, whenever you see Jared, think Witkoff. They're working together, okay? And they want deals. They want profitability. There's still money to be made off the backs of everyone else. Plan backs Blair in Gaza. So former British Prime Minister helped bring peace in Northern Ireland in the 1990s. And what kind of peace? Not much. Not today, that's for sure. So anyway, the main thing is this is profit over peace, but it doesn't matter because the profit will drive the peace. That's what Trump does. Just get used to it. So revealed 21-point plan for ending the Gaza war. I'm not going to really go through the whole thing. This is from the Times of Israel from the 27th of September. Gaza will be de-radicalized, terror-free zone that does not pose a threat to its neighbors. You can go to the article and read all 21 points. I only put 12 up. But the main thing is Gaza will be redeveloped by the industrialists or the, these guys, they don't build anything. They just redevelop. That's what they do. That's Witkoff, that's Jared Kushner, that's Trump. That's what they do. And that's what they're going to do with the Middle East. It won't hold. But you'll have peace for a moment, and you'll see peace and safety. You will. So once again, here it is, the great trust from demolished Iranian proxy to the prosperous Abrahamic ally. So they're constantly pitching all of these things. It's just funny to watch. It's all prosperity, guys. It's all prosperity. But God knew that when he chose Trump. God knew that. So once again, Gaza de-radicalized, terror-free zone. Gaza will be redeveloped into let's call it the Riviera. Okay, that's what they're calling it. And so everybody gets a garden on the top of their building. And Gaza is a beautiful location. It's cursed, but it's a beautiful location. So it's the art of the deal. That's what Trump wants: peace and profit. 21-point plan. Trump says Gaza deal near hostages could soon be freed. Once again, the Algae Minor, and so we have a deal in Gaza, and he's not announcing it officially yet, but he's so close. And as soon as he gets that deal done, everything's going to fall like dominoes right after that. So the proposal was circulated on Tuesday to officials from Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, Egypt, Jordan, Turkey, Indonesia, and Pakistan, all Muslims. And so Witkoff is working the deal, and they want a peaceful coexistence. It seems like it's going to occur. So this is from the 26th of September, once again, the Algae Minor. And so they want the Abraham Accords. This is the deal. And this is from John Haller. I borrow content from him all the time. So a time for a war, a time for settlement. Now is the time for the Abrahamic covenant. They can smell it. It's that close. They're weeks away from that, and then weeks away from other deals that will take place. So the Times of Israel again from probably 28th. Yeah, so this is fresh news. Netanyahu says Abraham Accords will be expanded despite Gaza war. I'm telling you, the deals for Abraham are already cemented. And really what I'm going to state is way down in the bottom here, lower right-hand side. This is a reward for Iran's demise. Israel is being rewarded for smashing Iran. Okay, so now we go back to the rest of this. He argues that, on the contrary, the normalization of agreements will be expanded as a result of peace efforts in cooperation with Trump. Okay, and so it's just interesting. I think there are many possibilities, and so I think you'll see that not only are the Abraham Accords not endangered, but they'll be expanded to other countries. So this is, fresh news, September 28th. So it doesn't matter if Israel shot some missiles into Qatar. It doesn't matter if there's constant skirmishes in Syria or in going into Gaza. They just want to get it done fast and now and to have some peace, but it's really more about profitability. Okay, so Israel Hayom again, Trump and Netanyahu's two-state vision, Gaza's war, and Abraham Accords expansion. Every slide that I'm trying to show you says Gaza war ends, Abraham Accords expand, beginning with the Gaza war ending, it has to terminate. Hostilities need to conclude within 2 weeks. Okay. Now, this is an old article from June, but they want things to end fast, and then multiple nations globally will accept numerous Gaza inhabitants seeking immigration. Abraham Accords expansion will bring in Syria, Saudi Arabia, additional Arab and Muslim countries to recognize Israel once again. This is all Saudi Arabia and other people saying, thank you for destroying Iran. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is Israel Hayom again. Witkoff, Kushner meet Netanyahu in New York to discuss. It says Gaza War. No, 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 no. This is the Abraham Accords. When you see those two together, think Abraham Accords, because Kushner is only working on the Abraham Accords, and Witkoff is there alongside. He's like a lapdog. Okay. The meeting came just an hour after President Donald Trump declared, following talks with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, that the sides were very close to a deal in Gaza. So we know what's happening, and we know everybody's divvying up how much cash they get to make off this thing. Yeah, that's what's occurring. Trump's plan calls for a permanent ceasefire and all the 21 points and things like that. But they'll have a Palestinian committee to manage Gaza on an interim basis. It's really about the Abraham Accords. It is. You know it too. Okay, Abraham Accords. Have I shown you enough slides for that? Yeah. So this is a while ago, but Special Envoy Witkoff, one of the president's key objectives is that the Abraham Accords be expanded. We think we're going to have some pretty big announcements on countries that are now coming into the Abraham Peace Accords. So you've got two different things going on. You've got negotiations for Gaza and Israel, but as things move forward, you've got this. Trump Gaza will produce business deals and other weird peace deals. So on the right-hand side, it's Ynet News. Trump envoy hints at new countries joining Abraham Accords. I don't think I've said that enough. So we'll go to Daniel 9:27 so we can give you the reason why I keep on citing it. And he has strengthened the covenant. He has increased this covenant with many for one period of 7, and in the midst of the period of 7, he causes sacrifice and the present to cease, and by the wing of the abominations he is making desolate, even until the consummation, and that which is determined is poured out on the desolate one. Daniel 9:27. So it's just, this is what's happening, people. We're getting close to that point. Now, it could be a year away, or it could be 10 years away, but it could be 3 months away or 2 months away. Okay. Abraham Accords pushes forward in 2025. This is Breitbart, exclusive Witkoff, big energy for Abraham Accords expansion. 4 to 6 countries may join in the next couple of months. And this is May 13th. Well, so that's the big energy. That's what they're working on. So I've shown it to you enough times that you know who's going to join, what's going to happen, the big energy. They're pushing it hard. Okay. So this is what they want. In the meantime, Trump is pushing back on Israel on the West Bank to get his medal. He wants that little shiny piece of metal, and he wants to claim a Nobel Peace Prize, even though the whole the EU hates his guts. And really, many globalists hate his guts, but he wants it, and he thinks he's going to get it, and that's what it's all about. So now we get into the prophecy side. So we covered much of that was prophetic, but this is prophetic in terms of what has happened in the past, seems to be happening again. I'll prove it to you. Give me a few slides. So this is Suleiman, which means Solomon, man of peace, the magnificent son. So Salem came into power in 1517 and started the caliphate, which went 400 years, almost to the minute. Okay, from 1517 to 1917, just after, basically the end of World War I. And so they controlled. But his son started over in 1520, and by 1535, some weird things were going on. So we'll figure that out. So 400 years of the caliphate. In the 16th century, Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent ruled the Ottoman. It's a Muslim empire. The Ottoman Empire included Turkey, the Middle East, and some of southern Europe. In 1517, the Ottoman Turks, under Suleiman's father, Selim I, gained control over Jerusalem. See that? Okay. And they lost it exactly 400 years later. Suleiman, Shalom, son of Abraham, probably, however, respected the Jewish people and made a Jew, the Duke of Naxos, his foreign affairs minister. Do you see what's going on here? Okay. And then 15 years after his ascension, so that would be 1535, Suleiman records that he was troubled by a series of dreams. In these dreams, he was being chased by lions who seemed intent on devouring him. In one dream, he finally stopped running and faced the lions. Asking what he should do to save his life, he was told he should build the wall of Jerusalem. Wondering about this, he asked the only deity that he knew, Muslim Allah, for guidance. The response came in a dream which was recorded as follows. So there's the lions chasing him in his dreams, and here it is. Now, what I'm saying is this dream could happen again. It's happening to Muslims all across the world right now, and God can place these dreams in people's minds to cause them to sign a peace deal. Okay, just like this was kind of a peace deal for Suleiman. The prophet appeared to him in a blessed night and told him, "Oh, Suleiman, you will have the rulership for 46 years, and you will make many conquests. Your offspring will not die out until the end of time. My kindness will always extend to you. You should spend these spoils on embellishing Mecca and Medina, and for the fortification of the citadel of Jerusalem in order to repulse the unbelievers. And when they attempt to take possession of Jerusalem during the reigns of your followers, you should embellish its sanctuary with water basins and annual money gifts to the dervishes there, and also embellish the Rock of Allah and rebuild Jerusalem. Such being the order of the prophet, Suleiman Khan rose early once from his sleep and sent his spoils, 1,000 purses to Medina and another 1,000 purses to Jerusalem." So this is from Alden Hillebrand from 2000, page 353. So again, the word on the lower right-hand side, this is from Daniel 9:25, the end of the verse, shuv, to shuv. Okay, and so that's more like a turning. Suleiman was heading towards Europe, so he sent his men, turned them around down to Jerusalem based on the lion's dream. Okay, and then he built, and that is the correct word for built, the street and the wall. I'll show you how it could be interpreted different ways, but street and wall is good enough. Okay, so as with Nehemiah, because there was this weird time just leading up to the Messiah's first arrival in, we'll say, 32 Common Era, that you had these 490-year time frames, okay? And then again in Nehemiah's time, with Suleiman, okay? So notice that the terms of the arrangement were that Jerusalem was to be rebuilt along with the wall or fortifications or plaza, and that water dispensers or basins or fountains must be provided. The wall that Suleiman built is the wall that currently surrounds Old Jerusalem, and the Lion's Gate commemorates the lions in his dream. If Daniel 9:25 prophesies 490 years rebuilding of Jerusalem's walls in Nehemiah's time, or 490 years before now, Suleiman testified. Well, so Nehemiah testified of the first coming of Messiah, and I'm saying this testifies of the second coming of the Messiah. Okay, still standing when Jesus rode his donkey in the fulfillment of Daniel 9:9. Yeah, I put the 490 in the wrong spot, but perhaps Suleiman's 490 years correspond to the rebuilding of the wall and then the coming of the Messiah's second coming. Here's what I've been able to ascertain. This came from, just going out and studying what occurred during that time frame and then going forward. So Fountain, Jaffa Gate, 29th of June, 1536. Fountain again, Lions Gate, 1536. Fountain Sabil al-Wad, 14th of December, 1536. Fountain again, 1537. North Wall, 1537. Jaffa Gate, 1538. Damascus Gate, 1538. Lions Gate, 1538-39. Herod's Gate, 1539. South Wall, 1540. Completion of construction. The end seemed to be 1541 or 1542. You add 490 years and you're at 2032. Just be interested by that. Okay, so once again, trench or moat or plaza, teshuv, sending your men. It's kind of like teshuva with the first time with Nehemiah, Ezra, and then the second time with Suleiman. And you're saying he's a Muslim guy. The problem was he was sent lions and the Lion's Gate, and it's all prophetic people. And God sends dreams and visions to all sorts of people, even people that aren't Christians, obviously, all day long. Muslims are coming to Yeshua all the time from dreams and visions. So 1539, 1540, there was a weird astronomical tetrad. There were 4 lunar eclipses on these Jewish festival days of Passover, Sukkot, as Suleiman the Magnificent sent his men to rebuild Jerusalem's walls. Why? Suleiman was winning battles in Hungary, where food was and water were up there, but his troops abruptly left for Jerusalem, where there was no food or water, to seal the Eastern Gate for the last 490-year time frame. And that's a judgment time frame of 70 times 7, and sets off the final 490-year judgment countdown to 2030-ish or whatever, time frame that we're in right now. I can't state any specific dates, but I can tell you it kind of matches with the whole thing. Okay, so all right, so 1492, we have a real blood moon eclipse, tetrad, and Columbus time frame. Columbus came back just as they started in 1493, and then 1494, Passover, Sukkot. Okay, and then if you look at it and you add on 62 weeks, you get to June 7th of 1967. Okay, and the capture of Jerusalem, rebuilding the wall, things like that. Becomes the capital of Israel for the first time in 1900 years. Plus, these 7 weeks get you to September 28th of 2015. Okay, so this is from my friend Josh Elsom. He's really not doing this anymore because he felt like this was a god, that he was serving his god of time frames and math and other things like that. Good, godly man, wonderful guy. I still am friends with him to this day. But you can see these overlapping and intersecting jubilees in 490 years. It's just weird to watch it, okay? And then you have no more blood moon tetrads until later on. But you do have it occurring during this 1539 and 1540 in a quiet way. And there you can see them. These are the tetrads of April. And boy, it's tough to see. So this was 1539, April and September, October, and then October and March and September. Yeah, those are the dates. So you've got the tetrad. So according to Josh again, August 20th, 1539, Sultan Suleiman of Turkey had ordered the rebuilding of the eastern gate of Jerusalem, called the Lions Gate. It was finished in 1540, by 1542. Counting ahead 69 prophetic years from August 20th, 1539, the number is 69, is from Daniel 9:23 through 26. The 69 prophetic weeks of years gives us 69 times 7 times 360 is 173,880 days, exactly landing on June 7th, 1967. That day, Israel took Jerusalem by entering through the Lion's Gate. It's just interesting, fun, okay? So the Eastern Gate, that's what it looks like with a little lion in front. Josh Elsom again, considering that there were eclipses marking the feast days of 2014, 2015, then there may be something going on in 1539. There were 4 solar and lunar eclipses during those years. Of those 4 eclipses, I believe they were very significant. So once again, April 3rd, 1539, September 27th. There was also some solar eclipses too, but March 22nd, September 16th of 1540, and you can see the time frames. They just kind of match up with 2014, 2015. And that's like a 10-year warning to us that start watching for Yeshua, okay? And so the Eastern Gate is interesting. This is from David Reagan, James Fleming, PhD, Nathan Jones, before the Eastern Gate, talking about it. James Fleming in 1967 fell into a grave, and looked at, well, you see the picture in the next slide, but he saw the bones, and then he also saw what seemed to be the Eastern Gate or something like that. So just trench, moat, street, walls, things like that. That's what he photographed, okay? So it seems like there's something underneath it. And we don't know. But we do know that Suleiman had to seal the Eastern Gate for the Messiah. The gate had to remain shut. It will not be opened, and no one will go through it because Adonai, the God of Israel, has gone through it. So keep it shut. Only the prince, since he is the prince, is to sit there and eat his meal before Adonai. So this is Ezekiel 44. So we know why it had to be sealed, and it seems like it's about 490 years before. And there are other things that are just odd with this. It was constructed in different phases during the reign of Hezekiah, Zerubbabel, Hasmonean era, and predominantly under Herod. These existing golden gate is believed to rest atop the ruins of an earlier gate. An arch, likely from this older gate, lies directly beneath the currently sealed gate. Interesting, from Nature Discoveries. Very interesting. So maybe James Fleming saw that. I don't know. So I do these 490 years, and I redid it just to show you that from Justinian I, which is from 73, when oh goodness, why am I blanking on the last attack in 73 Common Era? That would be the Masada. Masada fell in 73 to 563 when Justinian I fell. And then you had plagues in 563. You would see 490 years. Then 490 up to the schism where the legs divided, which is very similar to what you see in the picture in the middle there, the legs dividing. Pope Benedict IX, the schism, horrible stuff, okay? That's 490 years. Then from 1053 to 1543, you hit Suleiman the Magnificent's troops and plagues again during that time frame. Then 1543 to 2033, is that the time of the beast? I don't know. But these things match up time and time again. I mean, if you look at Rome, well, Rome stayed around until 563. You see Alexander the Leopard. Well, Germany is kind of like a leopard, and Germany has started 2 world wars, and they want to start a third. Cyrus the Bear. Russia? Maybe. Okay. And then the final one, or the first one actually, is the lion, which is Babylon, but also Great Britain and USA. So keep that in mind. It's just interesting. These things happen time and time again, and there are aspects of Rome involved in the end times too, obviously. Okay, so interesting. I have not done TikTok yet. I'm watching it at times. According to Netanyahu, now with the purchase of TikTok by the Oracle guy, Larry Ellison, TikTok seems to be the way to go. So I'll have to change my marketing up and start working on TikTok. I have a friend named Jim that is a messianic, and he does a great job on TikTok. I don't like it because I like to tell a story like what I'm doing right now. I do not like to tell a mini story, but I can do it. I can do sound bites. Okay, so watch TikTok and watch for PR that needs to occur on TikTok. It's going to change the platform. For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them. That's what might be coming up. And so the Muslim Brotherhood. So basically, I'm saying that Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, Matt Walsh, Candace Owens are doing their best to help the Muslim Brotherhood. It's going to be interesting in this PR war going forward. We're in the PR war regardless. Okay? You can pause it if you want to read the whole thing, but it's just interesting to watch it. And Russia and China are still involved. What if Putin keeps on marching? This is from the Sunday Times, from London Times, and from September 27th. And so, what happens if Russia attacks NATO after Ukraine? It could happen. So there's still that angle for Trump to work on. So he has to stop the Ukraine war. Okay. And then what I want to show you at the end here, as we finish, is Dmitry Duduman's April 1996 dream about Russia and China. So basically, America is losing its ability to deter China. And on the right-hand side, how Russia is helping China prepare to seize Taiwan. So this is from his dream, from Hand of Help. You can go to the site there listed. The Russian president began to speak to the Chinese one. I will give you the land with all the people, but you must free Taiwan of the Americans. Do not fear, we will attack them from behind. A voice told me, watch where the Russians penetrate America. I saw these words being written. Alaska, Minnesota, and Florida. So you can read the whole dream if you want to, but I gave you just a snippet of it, that we still have the Russia and China angle, and that seems to be what will cause World War III at some point in time. So my drop dead time for things to occur this year, you have to have peace agreements by this time. You have to have the Abraham Accords absolutely going bonkers, okay, is the false Sukkot of Heshvan. So I'm saying that would be definitely by November 14th of 2025. So, and I'm telling you that the globalists are pointing towards the false Yom Kippur, which would be on Halloween, which is intriguing, okay? And the false Sukkot, as I mentioned, from about, with wiggle room, November 6th through the 14th. And then Noah's flood would be the 8th of 2025. That's Heshvan 17. So just be aware that the globalists are still picking those types of days. Heshvan is that dark month. It really, really is. Halloween makes it dark. But all of the other activities related to it, like Marie Antoinette's death, was Heshvan 10. So it would be that false Yom Kippur. So, and that's what they're pointing to is beheadings and death and things like that. So just be aware, those are the drop dead dates. So birth pangs, we're in it. We're not in the tribulation yet. We're not in the Great Tribulation yet. We're working on peace and prosperity for the moment. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, at some point in time, you can't be naked. You have to have clean garments. It's a wedding. Get ready for it. Get your family ready for it. Thank you very much for your time. God bless you. And we'll see you again, hopefully in a week. God bless.